the house of slavery, the land of bondage. I started to wake up as I was coming out of that, that thing of sleep. I was becoming aware of my body and my mind, and my body was all sore. I was in a, I was sleeping on my side and in a somewhat of what do you call that, fetal position, as I'm off to sleep, and as I'm waking up and I'm coming to the dawn here, I'm aware that my body is sore, very sore, and my head is throbbing. My head is really hurting, and I'm cold. I'm really, really cold. Why am I so cold? And as I start to wake up more and more, all of a sudden, I just wake up and I just pop up and I sit up. And I realize that I'm not in a familiar surrounding at all. I look around, I'm in a car. I'm in the back seat of a car. I say to myself, what are you doing here? Where are you? And I look out the windows of the car and there's snow coming down outside the car. And I'm cold, I'm really cold. I don't have a coat on. I'm really freezing, I'm shivering, and I hurt. My head hurts so bad, my body is aching. Where am I? What's going on here? I open up the car, I get outside of the car to look at the car, and I'm looking at the car and it's not familiar to me at all. I haven't seen this car before. I don't know whose car this is. And I look around and it's snowing and it's coming down and my ears are starting to hurt and I'm looking around. Where am I? I don't recognize any of these houses. There's row houses on both sides. I don't know where I am. I'm in somebody's neighborhood. It's early in the morning. The sun's just coming up, but the snow is coming down. I don't have a coat. And I don't know where I am. So I start walking. And I figure if I get to the end of the street, I can see the name of the street, and I get some bearings as to where I am. I walk to the end of the block. I get to the street, and I see a street sign identifying the street I'm on, the cross street. I don't know any of these. I don't know either of these streets. I have no idea where I am. My head is hurting, and then the next thing I know, my stomach is really, and I start vomiting. And now I'm really sick, I'm cold, I'm shivering, my ears hurt, my hands hurt. So I start running. I figure if I can find out where I am, I can, determine how to get home. I don't know where I am, I don't know how to get to home. And so I ran to the next street and I looked at the street sign and I couldn't identify anything again. And my clothing is, I have black leather shoes on. I don't have sneakers on, so I'm slipping all over the place. I have thin black pants on. I just have my shirt. I'm getting wetter. I'm getting colder. My head's getting fuller with snow. I finally get to the end of the street, and I see a street. It's a main street, and I'm familiar with this street. I know where I am. I identify the cross street, and I realize that I've been going the opposite way of my home. I've just run 3 blocks in the wrong direction. I got to go all the way back where I started and then go miles back to get to my house. And I finally got home. And I disrobed and I got into my bed and I could get warmed up. And my head was still throbbing. My body was still aching. I had no idea how I ended up in that car. I had no idea why my body hurt so badly. I had no idea how I got into such a situation, other than that it was self-afflicted from the night before. I had been drinking, and I had a blackout. I was 20 years old. I was so lost. I tell you that story because it's one that reminds me of the metaphor of my life. That's where I was before I knew Christ. I was out in the cold. I was freezing. I was helpless. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know how to get to safety. And I was just, and self-afflicted pain was a frequent thing for me. Surely the next day, as I woke up, the next night I went out drinking again. Because I had pain. I wanted to get rid of the pain. I had physical pain. And to this day, I still don't know how I got in that car. I don't know what happened to me the night before, and I never had the courage to ask to find out. That's what life is like. For me, that's what my life was like. That is the metaphor of my life. I don't forget that. I don't forget that incident because it typifies where my slavery was. Purposeless, useless, lost, out in the cold. No way of navigating to a safe shore until Christ